Dear global pioneers, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I just checked Twitter. It's great to see that many big influencers are now promoting GCV. That's really good news. I also got some questions and participated in some national community groups. There I noticed some misunderstandings that needed to be cleared up. I want to clarify that I don't have a PhD, but I do have 2 bachelor's degrees. Also, I am not currently working for any bank, but I used to work for Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. I previously worked as an internal auditor and manager of the International Trade Department. 2. Pi Network is very different from traditional cryptocurrencies. Therefore, it is necessary to forget the traditional way of thinking about cryptocurrencies. 3. Some pioneers believed that the price of Pi was determined by its supply and demand. 4. On the other hand, some pioneers believed that financial institutions, groups, and large corporations need to invest in Pi. GCV price can only be achieved. This is why they are looking for outside investment. And my analysis is as follows. Please remember that this is for your reference only. I do not represent Pi Network. Pi Network is a unique cryptocurrency. It takes a different path than the traditional cryptocurrencies mentioned above. The initial price of a cryptocurrency is determined by the fundamental economic principles of supply and demand. The perceived value of cryptocurrencies to potential buyers and investors will affect the initial price. When demand is high and supply is limited, prices tend to be higher. But it should be noted that the price of Pi Network, not determined by supply and demand. It was determined by the consensus of its predecessors. Pi Network does not plan to enter the exchange market. Therefore, the price will not be determined by supply and demand in the exchange market. Before Pi Network went public, it is very important to establish a uniform price for the Pi Network. This price must be supported by an ecosystem in order to ensure its strength and stability. The current model of traditional cryptocurrencies, due to the lack of such stability, fail to achieve the goal of becoming a mainstream currency. In addition, blockchain technology has not yet been effectively integrated into our daily lives. Many investors suffered losses in the trading market. A few days ago, some pioneers, GCV prices listed on the Atlantis exchange market. Question: Atlantis Exchange is a US-based cryptocurrency exchange, registered with the US Treasury according to its website. Due to CT's announcement that Pi Network does not yet have OM, externally unable to connect to the Pi blockchain for real Pi buying and selling. Therefore, only IOU initial offered unit allows users to speculate on the future value of Pi coins before they are officially launched. The consensus among the pioneers on the price of Pi coin may have an impact on the trading market. Pi Network's white paper outlines the motivation behind its creation and how it aims to revolutionize the traditional cryptocurrency model. However, the release and migration of the Pi Network were delayed due to the lack of consensus on price. High consensus prices are necessary to prevent market speculation, ensuring the development and success of the ecosystem. Education is critical to helping pioneers reach consensus on price and create GCV data. This will make the migration process smooth and faster, since all ecosystems and merchants rely on cash flow. Therefore, this issue must be given priority. It should also be noted that there is currently no financial institutions group, governments, or large companies publicly support the Pi Network. This is because the Pi Network is like an unborn baby. The success of Pi Network depends not only on public blockchain and high tech for Web 3.0. It also depends on the consensus price reached by its pioneers. Now let's discuss why. GCV's price of $314,159 is achievable when universal equivalents, i.e. goods that are separated from the world of commodities. When the value of all other commodities is expressed, money appears. The emergence of general equivalents is due to the expansion of value forms, lack of uniform equivalence, unable to adapt to the growing demand for exchange. Therefore, the function of equivalence gradually stabilizes on specific commodities. General equivalents appear. A general equivalent is a socially accepted form of equivalent. Its natural form becomes the common value form of all commodities. It can be exchanged directly with all other commodities. Think of it as the embodiment of abstract human labor. All other commodities must first be converted into general equivalents. The private labor expended on it can be recognized by society, become direct social labor. General equivalents become the medium of exchange of goods, play the role of money, but it is not yet a currency. Only when the function of the general equivalent is stabilized on the precious metal can it develop into money. Pi has great potential as a universal equivalent because it already has 50 million user base. It's also as precious as Dr. Nicholas mentioned. Please do not use your app to display the Pi amount, because you can't reach or achieve it in a short time, and has a monetary base. We can all accept Pi as a universal equivalent for measuring various asset products or services. As long as the pioneers agree on a price, Pi can definitely be used as currency. See how new technologies are transforming us. It's an amazing way of thinking about money and currency. The price of traditional cryptocurrencies is determined by supply and demand. It's because it will be conducted on the exchange market. Cryptocurrencies will be classified as assets for purchase only. This is why prices are determined by supply and demand. Remember that the price of Pi is not determined by supply and demand. This was decided by the consensus of the pioneers. The price of the cryptocurrency Pi, it is not determined by supply and demand in the exchange market because it has no intention of participating in the exchange market. So Pi is not going to be a currency. Its price fluctuates due to the influence of supply and demand forces. As a result, traditional cryptocurrencies have failed to achieve their purpose and remain in the hands of a few. In addition, the application of blockchain technology in our daily life still limited, and a large number of investors lose money in the trading market. Pi Network has been delayed for nearly 2 years and cannot be launched on the main network. It's also unfortunate that CT cannot do KYC and migration at scale. Mainly for this reason. Is it because the price is not agreed upon or too low for The ecosystem is not doing well. The important thing to remember is that ecosystems don't work well when prices aren't uniform. Due to this situation, they may be short of cash. This is understandable. The survival height of these ecosystems and merchants depends on the ability to convert to fiat through OM. Cash flow is definitely the top concern for these stakeholders. If our pioneers can agree on a high enough price to resist speculation in the exchange market, then can happen. Protection mechanisms can be put in place. In the long run, quickly achieving a uniform price is essential for the ecosystem. Key factors for merchants and service providers to have a positive impact. By reaching GCV, these stakeholders can build the confidence to make long-term investments. Of note, OM's proximity will be in their cash flow planning. Play a crucial role because the exchange of fiat and cash flow will be realized at Therefore, it is imperative to accelerate the process of reaching a unified price for GCV. This will help build trust and confidence in the ecosystem. So we can see that it was the pioneers who delayed Why? Because pioneers don't read white papers. Many pioneers were misled by the Buy Pi group. So I say the solution is broad education. When pioneers reach GCV in the center of our minds and create GCV data when is coming soon, and there may be large-scale KYC and migration. Many pioneers have been adopting traditional cryptocurrencies, way of thinking finding financial institutions groups to fund it. Therefore, the wrong approach was taken to the Pi. However, Pi Network has not received any financial institutions from the group. Public support from governments or large companies accept initial investors. And that's because the Pi Network, like a baby, is not fully developed. They have a hard time supporting something that is still in its early stages. Dr. Nicholas and Dr. Fan are both outstanding individuals. Dr. Nicholas was hired by Microsoft, cited in the Future of Work Report 2023. However, the success of the Pi network, it's not just high-tech from public blockchains and Web 3.0. Many pioneers chose to do nothing and wait because they don't understand that technology is just a necessary condition for Pi to be successful. But it's not enough. Another necessary condition is a consensus price agreed upon by the first movers. I believe in the process of creating GCV, not as difficult as some pioneers had imagined. In fact, it doesn't take a lot of money to make GCV a reality. I have an article that explains why the price of GCV, when it was first introduced to the global community, set at $314,159. According to my article, considering the huge volume of global settlements, and the current wealth is around 500 trillion, the price is reasonable. I estimate that the Pi available at will be around 1.50 billion, currently about 900 million. Therefore, it is important not to use 100 billion as a usable Pi, because most Pi can't be released in the first 3 or 10 years. Pioneers can create a stable, uniform price for Pi without the need for additional investment from the financial institutions group or large corporations. This is because we don't ask them to buy Pi from us during the mainnet GCV price period. Our pioneer had 50 million wallets. 10 million wallets will be created when If this 10 million half of the pioneers create only one GCV transaction, then it will add 5 million GCV to the blockchain. This will help determine the price of the Pi. Every pioneer can barter products with a consumption range of $1 to $10. Once the price is determined and unified, Pi Network can successfully announce It's like a baby being born into the world. Because the Pi network is backed by high technology, it will attract almost all major companies. Financial institutions group government joins our public chain and Web 3.0. This will create a huge demand for Pi because they needed to use the Pi network, which will create demand for Pi. Due to the higher price of GCV, exchanges can list. But due to higher prices, a small number of wealthy investors cannot buy and hold. Therefore, it can be considered as a currency with stable and decentralized characteristics. Overall, the Pi price was created by the pioneers. When we can unify prices to GCV, it will align with the mission of the Pi network. We will arrive at soon.